Hey, what's up? Welcome to Creative Emotions. We're going to get this encouragement, motivation, information, transparency, and you're going to get these good vibes, period. This is a live show. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We are talking about today the cost of love. I'm trying to see if it can come up. Yeah, it didn't come up. Live on there. We're talking about the cost of love. Is there a cost on love? Have you ever put yourself in a situation where you sacrifice yourself just for the feeling of love? We have to think about that. A lot of times, we go through things and we deal with others and we're looking for this love. It's so much value in love. Did you know that? It's so much value in love, and there is a thing as unconditional love and conditional love, and we have to know the difference between the two. If you are just joining, the show is live, 313-266-2811. You can call in, and we can kick it. We're talking about the cost of love. How much of your self-worth has been put on the shelf to experience what you thought was love? Love is the one thing that should be free. Not, I'll love you when, or not, I don't love you now, because love is love. And so when you think about 1 Corinthians 13:4, the NIV version, it says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And so I just pulled up that word persevere, because a lot of times when you're reading, different things like that, if you don't know the meaning, it's best to break down whatever it is you're looking at to really get the gist of it and the meat of what you're trying to get out of it. And so when it said it always perseveres, I looked up persevere, and it says continue in a course of action, even in the face of difficulty or with little or no prospect of success. So you know when you need to throw in the towel. Let's just be honest. You know when things, it's toxic, or, it's abuse going on and different things like that. You know when enough is enough. I'm not talking about that type of love or loving somebody, unconditionally in that way, because you would know. You should know when it's time to go. But this says it always hopes. It always perseveres. And persevere is no matter what, in the face of difficulty, you still I still love you. That's one of the things that it's my foundation in this life. And this is how I move throughout life, to love your neighbor like you love yourself. So I had to go on a whole journey, and I'm still going to be on this journey, forever on this journey. I don't think we will ever arrive. But I had to go on this journey of self-discovery, self-love, so that I can be able to love my neighbor like I love myself. Because a lot of times, if you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? And I know, that's one of my things is love your neighbor like you love yourself. Love God with all your mind, your heart, and your soul. That's all in one. That's right here. If you don't take another step, that's everything. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. Love God with all your mind, your heart, and your soul. And if God is here, God lives in us, that's the ultimate love. And so when we operate out of that endless flow of love, it doesn't have conditions. It's not a conditional love. It's a free-flowing love without those conditions. So persevere, that word just it got me. But this to me sounds like, again, no condition. So I was in Myrtle Beach, and I went for my birthday. My birthday was last week. Happy birthday to me. Okay. Happy birthday. So I went to Myrtle Beach. I took my children. I took my mom. So we were riding bikes. And so I was walking. I was on the bike. And so I stopped, honey, because I thought I was a little bit more in shape than I was. But, man, we was out there sweating bullets, hyperventilating. I needed an inhaler. It was crazy. But in all of that, in my stop to the side, I stopped on the side of the road with my son. Excuse me. And I seen this lady, it was a little girl walking next to her, and she kept reaching for the lady's hand. And the little girl had to be like no more than 3 or 4. So she's reaching for this lady's hand, and the lady like, no, I'm not grabbing your hand. Now, nothing was in her hand. Her hand wasn't obstructed to the point where she couldn't, grab the little girl's hand, but she didn't want to. She put the bag she had in her other hand. So the little girl kept grabbing at her hand, and so the lady like, I'm not grabbing your hand until you learn how to act right. But she came down, to her size, her eye level, and told her that. Not only is that a form of rejection to children, but that's a conditional type love. Love and affection is 2 different things, but my heart was literally crushed because although, like I said, love and affection are different, they still play a major role in our life. Because love, love is a strong and deep affection. Affection is a gentle feeling of fondness, caring, or liking. A lot of these children are affected from the lack of affection. And so you have to be mindful. I went through this. I didn't notice that when my daughter would come over to hug me, I'd be like, oh, girl, what you doing? Because she'd do it like at the most awkward time. And I found myself pushing her away. But then when I go back, my mom used to, do that unconsciously to me. Like, go on, Quita. But that still is a form of rejection. And so I thought about that. I immediately thought about it when my daughter, when I pushed her back and she just looked and stopped and looked at me. And from that day forward, I made sure that I went to her, I hugged her. She's 18 right now, and every day I'm hugging and kissing them on the cheek and loving on them and hugging on them. So, it's important that we show this love and affection in a healthy way, just having that balance. And so when I seen that, I literally wanted to talk to her. My spirit was like, oh my God, like, please don't do that. Please. I just want to tell you, like, how this can affect the kid. But, of course it wasn't my place. But when I stopped, she crossed over the street anyway. So I couldn't say nothing. But right when I pulled off on that bike, I immediately prayed for her. I prayed for her eyes to be open so that she can see how that little bit of rejection can hurt that little girl, ultimately, steer her way of how she is showing affection when she get older. Everything is, a domino effect. And so what we do now with our children, with our partners or our respective people in our lives, this can affect them negatively. So we have to be, conscious of that. So I want to talk about the difference with conditional and unconditional love. So John 3:16 is the ultimate love, by the way. I just want to, put that out there. That is the ultimate love. So conditional love. I know we have all experienced this. People love you until. That's the love with conditions. This means that your love for another person or another person's love for you is contingent on certain actions or things going on. And so you have to be careful of that. So I'm going to give a few signs of conditional love and how it can be painful. So never feeling like you're good enough. Have you ever been with somebody and you feel like nothing that you do is ever enough? You're worrying about constantly doing more or being more, feeling like you can never live up to whatever expectations they have. This is a symptom of conditional love. And so I want you to be mindful of this. This is conditional love, things that may have you feeling a little off, a little awkward. Your energy is drained. And so you're trying to impress someone with whether it's a sibling, a friend, a significant other. You can be working to live up to expectations. That is exhausting. So when you think about that, that's conditional love. Number 3, you're dreading seeing a person. If you feel this way, you may be a victim of conditional love. If you know, like, oh my God, they about to be this way or that way, or you feeling something in your stomach, or, listen to your body, listen to your gut. Listen to your heart, listen to your mind. Really, really take time with yourself to be able to trust your instincts. The energy is different in public. This is number 4, and this is when you see conditional love. And if you're just joining me, I am talking about the cost of love, which we shouldn't have to pay for love. Love should be unconditional. So I'm talking about conditional and unconditional love and the things that happen toward you that may make you feel this way. So like I said, the energy is different in public. So have you ever had somebody that put on for their city, honey? They out there, they speaking to everybody, they hugging, they this, they that. Then as soon as y'all get in the car, it's like cricket, cricket. And it happens more often than not. That's not good. That's not good at all. So think about that. Is the energy different in public? This is a conditional type love. Like, that's so fake. Like, you gonna be all in, we all lovey-dovey while we in front of people, and then you act like you hate the guts after? Like, that's not cool. Number 5, you have caught the gaslighting. Gaslighting is when a person twists your words and questions your sanity or beliefs in order to maintain control over you or in the relationship. And so you have to be careful with that, because that's a conditional love. That is an issue within that person to feel the need to control. We cannot control anybody. We don't belong to anybody. We don't own anybody. And when we live in this way, it's freedom, because you'll be able to love people unconditionally. That's when that conditional love come in, when you're trying to control and manipulate situations. So that's really not good. Them being highly judgmental. You will feel like if you do certain things, they won't love you. Or if, like, oh, I did this, I don't want to tell them this, or they may think this of me, and so you're feeling a way. But that's not unconditional love, because nobody can really judge you. And that's why we should examine ourselves so that we don't be judged, or we won't be judged when you judge yourself or when you examine yourself. So number 7, they keep score. One thing I cannot stand is a tit for tat type person. Oh my God, it's so irritating. Like, I ain't coming to your party, you ain't coming to my party, and you they ain't coming to my wedding, I ain't going to their wedding, and they ain't do this for me, and you don't know what people have going on all the time. Like, I don't even take that stuff personal no more. I used to feel away because I put all this energy into my birthday parties, and then, people act like, oh, yeah, I'll try to make it. That don't have nothing to do with the energy that I chose to put into my birthday party. You got to really rationalize this stuff. So that tit for tat, you being this way because they being, oh, you said that to me, so I'm saying it to you. Now, how you like it? And, all that tit for tat is really, it's not helpful at all. At the end and the beginning of the day, it's not helpful. It's really hurtful. And this is showing conditional love. I say, just be who you are, and the right person will love you. That's how I feel. But when I think of unconditional love, I think of words like boundless, limitless, selfless. It's a healthy offer of love with no strings attached. Unconditional love still should have healthy boundaries. So this is what I was saying. Like, I think everybody should know their limit. Like, you shouldn't be getting your head bashed in and be like, but I just love you so much and it's just unconditional. At that point, it's a soul tie. It's something much deeper than the eye, and it's something that maybe prayer and, meditation can separate you from, a spirit that does not honor you as a human being, as a person first. So, that's different. You definitely should have healthy boundaries. So I believe in loving wholeheartedly, and it doesn't matter. You should be able to agree to disagree with people and y'all still cool. That does not happen. You disagree with somebody? Oh my God. Y'all beefed out. Y'all not friends no more. Don't be on social media. They taking you off social media. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. But I believe in loving wholeheartedly. So here's what I think that look like. Paying attention to your offerings of love. What are your expectations? Are you doing it to receive something now or later? And so when people do a lot, you cannot tell, like, if their intentions are right. You cannot judge anybody's intentions. That's something that only they can do. Only they can say, hey, am I doing this because I want this in the long run, or I want them to feel this way about me, or I want this to happen? Are you doing certain things because of that? In that way, that's not unconditional. So Loving wholeheartedly, again, you paying attention to your love offerings and making sure that you're not doing it, in a malicious way. That's unconditional love. So learn to accept and value the influence of a person. Like, I really look to learn from everybody that come in my life. I don't care what age, what color, gender, anything. I feel like we can learn from each other. And so being able to accept and learn, again, the value and the influence of a person, that's unconditional love. That is a form. Being transparent. They is loud out there. Texas. Be transparent. Offer it in your interactions. Just being transparent. It's a secure feeling. Feeling confident in someone's love and knowing it won't go away. It can help. It involves acceptance and forgiveness. Acceptance and forgiveness that's a totally different thing. I mean, when you accept the person for who they are, and then you learn to forgive, sometimes without even receiving an apology, I think that's another form of maturity. That's another form of you knowing, that everybody is different, and you accept and love people for their differences. That's unconditional love. Again, when you can accept and forgive someone. You may never get an apology. You may never get an acknowledgement. You may never get a conversation. But just that unconditional love, that's what covers a multitude of things. Never neglect your own needs. You come first. So love yourself without all these boundaries and labels. Everybody's so hard on themselves. It's like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, or I don't know how to do this, and we beat ourselves up throughout the day so much. I say we because, again, this is a journey. This is something that you have to consciously do, and so I do find myself sometimes saying it, like about to come out with it, and I'm like, nope, I ain't saying that, because I'm aware of it. I'm aware of how our words, can damage our self-worth or our self-confidence. You constantly saying, like, oh, I don't like my arms. Oh, I don't like my arms. So every time you go out, you putting on something on your arms. Nobody ever even said anything about your arms. But you beating yourself up to the point where now you looking at everybody else thinking they looking at you. And it's like, no, we literally do that to ourselves. And so just taking away all of the labels that you put on yourself. I don't do this, I don't do that. Or taking stuff from your family that's negative. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, oh, that's just what we do. I mean, that's to this family, that's to that. Why are you attaching yourself to things that it don't help you? It's not helping you, and it hasn't even helped them. So I just want you to be conscious of that. Be conscious of the things that you speak on your life, the things that you accept on your life. I don't care where it came from. If it's from Big Mama and it's an unhealthy habit, it's not good for you. It didn't work for Big Mama. And so that's us just loving ourselves unconditionally, without all these labels and boundaries. So I'm not saying, like I said, family dynamics play a role, but again, claiming all that, I said that to somebody. They was cussing. They was going crazy. They was going in. I mean, having a whole field day. And I challenged them in that. And they like, well, it's just what we do. All my family cussing. All my family like this and that. And it's like, but that's your choice. When you grow up with a thing, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Like, you growing up, you can't choose your family. It is what it is. But when you get older, I'm gonna need you to take some accountability. We gonna stop this. We gonna stop this talking about it running the family. No, you have a choice. And I want you to make that choice to love unconditionally. But make sure you give yourself the patience and the love that you give everybody else. I feel like we pour ourselves out so much. We pour ourselves out so much to everything and everybody. And then when it comes to you're giving yourself the leftovers. Or, you do so much for your job, but then you're neglecting yourself. You're neglecting your body. You're neglecting your health. You're neglecting your family, because you're putting so much into everything else. What about you? What about you? I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you loving yourself unconditionally? Are you so hard on yourself that you won't even allow somebody else to love you? That's a real thing. So are you loving yourself unconditionally? Take off all these labels. Take off all these boundaries that, that's keeping you restricted and in this box that it doesn't even fit you. Just think about that. So I want to talk about a few ways, and I'm just coming really quick because, this was my topic for today. Because when I seen that, it just did something to my heart, man. And I'm like, we do this in relationships. We do this in, in family. Like this was a family. This is a mother and daughter relationship. So this happens in families, not just in relationships. This happens as a whole with everybody. We love a certain way, pull back when you feel away, and you give a little bit of love here and you want to pull back this way. And it's like either you love or you don't. Like, what is this? What's going on? I don't understand. But we do need to just be, a little bit mindful of our love language. Our love language that we can't expect everybody to know our love language or speak our love language, but you can teach somebody your love language. And you can't be a love language. You can be a love language. I'm definitely going to listen. I'm going to love you regardless. That's what we're here to do. But I definitely know when things get out of hand or when it's just, it's not right. Love never dies. Love will never die. So the love will still be there. Whatever you have with that person just may not be. But the love will never die. So I wanted to talk about a few ways to show unconditional love, and this is what I'm going to leave you with. Be patient with others. Be patient with yourself, and be patient with other people. What I have learned on this journey so far, and what I have come to appreciate, is that there is a blessing in our differences. There is a blessing. Like I've learned so much from people that, you would judge a person from, one aspect of their life, but you can learn a ton from another. So it's good to be patient with yourself and with other people. Be a strong support. Be a strong support. Like, be that person that you would want, in your time of need. I know we can't save the world and we can't be there for everybody, but be a strong support. That's unconditional love. Be encouraging with others. Don't always try to one-up a story. One thing I can't stand. You telling a story, you like, girl, I went to Disney World and this and that. Girl, yeah, because then I went too, and then this happened and this. And then you trying to, like, one-up them. Like, it happens so often. I don't even think people realize it because we just want to get our story out. But sometimes, just listen and just be encouraging. You don't have to one-up. Like, you can be like, damn, I went there too. And then maybe you'll have an opportunity another time to talk about your part. But let people have their little couple moments. Let them have their little minutes to shine. You know what I'm saying? Give them their little time. You can't have nothing. You be like, girl, this, that, and this, and that. And you be like, me too. Because this and that and this. And you be like, dang, but I wasn't done. Then you done lost your train of thought because they done came in with you know what I'm saying? It's like, we got to be mindful of this, y'all. Being mindful. I'm telling you, I think I used to do that. Not on purpose, but I noticed it. Like, dang, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah. But listen effectively. When you listen, not just to respond, oh my God. It's heaven. It's bliss. It's like you were what they needed at that moment. But when we listening and you just listening to be like, yeah, but let me tell you what you need to do because everybody don't need a solution. I had to learn that the hard way. Now, I know I got gems. I know God has blessed me with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I know Holy Spirit lead me to give people words, and that's how I operate now. I just go when I'm led. Because we can always offer our opinion. We can always see somebody's side of the grass and get them a little tip to get they weeds out and all that. But we don't never know the whole gist of anything. So I don't try to offer my stuff no more. When people, I be like this, looking up and they be like, Q, what you think about this? If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. But I'm not going to just offer my opinion. Nope. Because it's too much energy, too. I ain't doing it. But proud moments. Again, these are a few ways to show unconditional love. When you see people in their proud moments, honey, I am a big person on this. When you see people in their proud moments, it don't take nothing to say, oh my God, I'm proud of you. Because that comes from a real place. When you know a person, has been struggling or they're doing bad or they in their feelings or they feel away, and you see them pushing through and becoming better and doing better, it won't take nothing to say, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, man. Look how far you've come. So give people they flowers while they can smell them. Just, having those proud moments and just telling them, how you feel. Tell them how you feel. It will help. You have no idea. But this is the last one. Let people know what they mean to you. Sometimes people need to hear that. More often than not. People are not in our lives. Not forever, right? We will want them to, but we have people for seasons. We have people for different reasons. But there should always be an unconditional trail of love coming from that. And so if you can let people know what they mean to you, like, you know what? I really appreciate, every time I call you, you're there, you give me good advice, or every time I feel this way, that, or every time something happens, you're really thoughtful, or anything, just anything you can find. Just start letting people know what they mean to you. And again, I wasn't going to be long because I just want to give you that. That was on my heart. That was on my spirit. And I hope that it helps somebody. Again, when you think about conditional love, you think about unconditional love. I want you to be aware, be conscious, be intentional that you are, in fact, giving that unconditional love that is coming from a place that is not motive-driven. Because at the end of that way, destruction, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So, guess what? I got another night of poetry and conversations coming tomorrow, Thursday, and every other Thursday after that, we have open mic and spoken word, and we have conversations. Listen, we had some good conversation. We passed the mic around. So when you come, you write down your thoughts on the index card, a question that you have, a statement that you have, question for the opposite sex, or if it's something you always want to know and you just want to ask it, whatever. So our time and conversation, I pull from that, and we have conversation that way. And I literally, listen, people be like, hey, I want to speak on that. And it's just an open space for us to be adults, for us to vibe. It's food there to purchase. It is drinks there to purchase. But again, I just wanted to offer a place where we can come and connect. Connecting is more important than anything. If we're not connecting, what are we doing? And I want authentic connection. I don't want anything forced or fake around me at all. So in that atmosphere, authentic, just being yourself, being real. Again, I hope you got something from this, because, honey, it was on my spirit to talk about it. I thank you guys so much for joining me. Meet me here, probably not next week, because I'll be out in Vegas. Look, it's still my birthday, but meet me here. You're going to get something next week, though. Same time, 6 o'clock. Guess what? I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.